is held. Ramadi, Shia militias gathered near Iraqi city. The day after Islamic State's militants completed their capture of Ramadi, Shia militias are assembling east of the Iraqi city ready for a possible counter-attack. Iraqi State TV described columns of tanks and other military vehicles entering al-Habbaniyah military camp. The Iraqi government called for help from the Iran-backed militias after the military was routed on Sunday. About 500 people died in the city, only 70 miles 112 kilometers west of Baghdad. Shia forces at al-Habbaniyah, about 20 kilometers 12 miles from Ramadi, were now on standby. The head of the Anbar Provincial Council, Sabah Karhout, was quoted by Reuters as saying. In a statement, the council said about 3,000 Shia fighters had arrived in Anbar to take part in the liberation of all Ramadi areas in which his militants took positions. The fall of Ramadi is a disaster for the Iraqi army and government, and especially its prime minister, Haider al-Abadi. After the recapture of another provincial capital, Tikrit, at the end of March, he announced the start of a similar campaign to liberate Anbar province, the country's biggest, and flew to Ramadi to kick it off. Now Ramadi has gone, and along with it the military command center for the whole province. A few days before the final collapse on Sunday, Mr. Abadi said he would not allow it to fall. It did. Now he and the largely Sunni provincial council have had to do what they didn't want, to call in the Iranian-backed Shia militias who were instrumental on the ground in recapturing Tikrit. They will play the lead role if Ramadi is to be recaptured. Will the Americans bomb to support them, and help spread Iranian penetration and control in Iraq? Can Iraq's army dislodge Islamic State? Iraq, growth of the Shia militia. The U.S. has said it is confident the capture of Ramadi can be reversed. Speaking in South Korea, Secretary of State John Kerry said, "I am convinced that as the forces are redeployed and as the days flow in the weeks ahead, that's going to change." The Shia militias, known as the Popular Mobilization Hashid, were key to the recapture from of another city, Tikrit, north of Baghdad, in April. But their use has raised concern in the U.S. and elsewhere that it could provoke sectarian tension in Sunni areas such as Ramadi. The militias pulled out of Tikrit following reports of widespread violence and looting. In another move, the Iranian Defense Minister, Hossein Degan, has arrived in Baghdad on a visit arranged before the latest developments in Ramadi. The police and military made a chaotic retreat from Ramadi, which has been contested for months, after days of intense fighting. A statement purportedly from it said its fighters had purged the entire city. It said it had taken the 8th Brigade Army base, along with tanks and missile launchers left behind by troops.